Hello, I'm Joseph Dillard. Becoming dream houses, cars, robbers, and toilet brushes is, on the face of it, absurd. By absurd, I mean irrational, pointless, and ridiculous. Something the Mad Hatter or the March Hare in Alice in Wonderland might recommend. This absurdity has the advantage of having us not take ourselves or our life dramas so seriously, which means that we objectify instead of personalizing them. On the other hand, what are we to make of it when something of astounding clarity, relevance, and functionality comes out of the mouth of a wombat or spit on a sidewalk? What is absurd, pointless, ridiculous, or irrational about perspectives, regardless of their appearance or source, that provide breakthrough realizations that improve our lives? It is in this regard that integral deep listening is a transpersonal practice. First, its subject matter is pre-rational and pre-personal. Second, its methodology is thought out and rational. Third, disclosed perspectives include our own and so are as rational as we are, but transcend our own, in that an interviewed hurricane adds its perspective to our own, thereby providing a transpersonal perspective. This makes IDL a transpersonal practice. These three steps are based on a concept from Ken Wilber's integral equal, the PreTrans Fallacy. It explains that we typically commit one of two types of fallacies regarding the transpersonal. Either we reduce the transpersonal to the prepersonal, pre-rational, irrational, and magical realm of belief and authority, or we elevate the prepersonal, pre-rational, irrational, and magical as proof of our transpersonal level of development. The first fallacy, reductionism, is perhaps best seen in Freud and materialism, where the transpersonal is explained and reduced to prepersonal fantasy, delusion, or the firing of brain synapses. The second fallacy, elevationism, is perhaps best seen in Jung and spirituality, in which the mystical, magical, irrational, synchronistic, psychic, and unexplained are assumed to be proof of attainment to higher stages of personal development, enlightenment. There are a lot of reasons for both mistakes. People do reductionism out of a need to control, a belief in reason and rationality, including the law of parsimony, and a desire to not be gullible, naive, or foolish. People do elevationism out of a need to have hope, a sense of purpose that gives them meaning beyond that which they find within themselves and their lives, and a belief that transpersonal states reveal and confirm transpersonal levels of development and enlightenment. They don't. And I go into this in a video explaining how IDL as a dream yoga differentiates between states and stages and why it does so. The reality is that we need both the realism of reductionism and the idealism of elevationism, and it is only in the possession of both that we can find a balance between them. In my experience, we do not have to worry about being overly rational and reductionistic as long as we interview, dream, and imaginal characters. This is because both are intrinsically transpersonal, in that they include our experience, worldview, and reality, yet expanded by adding their own to it. Therefore, a general rule of thumb is to err on the side of rational caution in one's waking life, following more or less the model of Stoics like Marcus Aurelius, while maintaining access to and regularly implementing the recommendations of interviewed emerging potentials. This creates a balance among the prepersonal, personal and transpersonal elements of human experience. IDEO is also a transpersonal practice in that it is founded on rational, personal level empiricism rather than on authority, faith, belief, or transpersonal state experiences, whether near death, psychic, or mystical. IDEO uses the interviewing of imaginary imagery to access transpersonal states and amplify their reality and worldview in our waking awareness, and thereby expand and thin our sense of who we are. We become less invested in who we think we are, our waking dramas, and our scripted identities, and more invested in the priorities of our life compass. This results in a gradual but very real and lasting shift in identity toward the transpersonal. Thanks for watching. See you next time.